What's going on, Washington Commanders Nation? It's your guy, Rio Robinson, back with the latest and greatest from the Rambling with Rio Robinson YouTube channel, where we ramble about the Washington Commanders. Today is January 5th, Friday, 2 games away from the season finale of the Washington Commanders season, a season in which we are going to end the year 4-13, ending the year on 8 consecutive losses. Just a couple weeks ago, Washington was 4-5 and a game back from the 7th wild card spot, in the thick of the playoff picture, the in the hunt graphic, as we have lived since Ron Rivera became the coach de facto president of this football team. But not only is Sunday the season finale for the Commanders, it is the series finale, the career as a head coach finale for one Ronald Eugene Rivera. It's the swan song game. It is the final game of his head coaching career, because with 1,000% certainty, he's being fired Sunday or Monday morning. Black Monday in the NFL throughout. But it's the final game he'll be a head coach, because I have no idea who's hiring this guy to be a head coach in 2023. The game's past him. The guy's getting up there, and his thoughts and ideologies of running a football team is not something that anyone would sign up for or subscribe to in 2024 and beyond. I don't see why it would happen, and it's definitely time for this franchise to move on. This was one of the biggest rivalries in sports a long time ago. Washington versus Dallas. Cowboys versus Indians. We're now called the Commanders. But considering Dallas has been regular season relevant in the last 30 years and Washington hasn't, it has not been much of a rivalry. So the game has lost its luster. It's lost the Dallas versus Washington cachet and sex appeal that it once had, because Washington is normally not playing for anything relevant around this time of year. So I'm not going to treat this like a normal Dallas week. This ain't Dallas week. This is Dallas needs to beat us week. So if you're battling with yourself as a fan, if you find a conundrum about what your rooting interest needs to be on Sunday, I'll spell it out for you. It makes the most sense for Washington's immediate future and future of this franchise for us to lose this game to Dallas on Sunday. We play at 4:25. We will know the results of the earlier games, and we will know if a loss by itself secures the second pick in the draft or if we need some help. But I believe most of the other games will already be in the books by the time Washington plays. The only other matchups that matter is New England beating the Jets. If New England beats the Jets and we lose, the second pick secured. If New England loses to the Jets, these are the important games, starting with New Orleans versus Atlanta. We need the Saints to beat the Falcons, the Colts to beat the Texans for the AFC South. We need the Steelers to beat the Ravens backups. We need Jordan Love and the Green Bay Packers to clinch their playoff spot and beat the Chicago Bears. And we need the Las Vegas Raiders to beat the Broncos. Draft positioning. It's all that matters. I do not get any satisfaction out of winning a meaningless game versus Dallas. This is the same position we were in last year, except Dallas is now in a win and secure the NFC East title position this year. They win the division if they beat us Sunday. So we will be getting the Dallas Cowboys full effort. We are 2 franchises going drastically different ways at the moment. Dallas has a franchise veteran quarterback. Dallas's receiver, CeeDee Lamb, is ascending, while our number 1 receiver needs 50 yards to get 1,000 yards on Sunday. CeeDee Lamb's sitting at number 2 in yards in the league. He's around 1,700, 10 touchdowns on the season, 122 catches. We traded away our edge rushers who both made the Pro Bowl. Shout out to Montez Sweat for earning a starting spot in the Pro Bowl. And shout out to all those fans out there who voted for Chase Young to be a Pro Bowler, despite the fact that he's not a Pro Bowler or having a Pro Bowl caliber season. But He's a fucking reserve for the Niners, by the way. But back to shout out to Montez. He's balling. He's around 14 sacks on the season now. Speaking of 14 sacks, Micah Parsons is probably going to have 5 sacks versus us on Sunday. Micah Parsons, candidate for Defensive Player of the Year. CeeDee Lamb, one of the best offensive players in the season, probably a candidate for Offensive Player of the Year. Dak, MVP conversation. Dan Quinn, one of the hot names to get a head coaching job in 2024. DaRon Bland set the record for pick sixes in a season, leading the league in picks. We are not the same at the moment. And I understand that's our rival. That's a division arch nemesis. But guys, I promise you, an L means so much more than a fluky swan song ride to the sunset victory for Ron Rivera. I don't want to see it. Ron has done the right thing so far. He's tried his damnedest to win this year, and we found ways to lose. This is not tanking. This is what a Ron Rivera team is. And this is what we should have been the last couple of years. Sam Howell's going to start week 18. Sam Howell just became the first Washington quarterback to start every game of the season since Kirk Cousins back in 2017. Good old Kirk. Say what you want about Kirk. Until the ACL tear this year, Kirk has been relatively healthy his entire career. The boy does not miss games. So you cannot discount that kind of stability, that kind of health, because health is an ability, in case you did not know. You didn't know. Health is definitely an ability. But we move on. Sam Howell starting this game, and it may be the last game we see Sam start for quite some time. Sam's last few starts, for those who want to say, Rio, how are you giving up on the guy? It's not per se I'm giving up on the guy. It's I understand how cutthroat this business is. I also understand when you bring in new people, they do not have to inherit and keep what you already have on the roster as their own. They're allowed to build it in their likeness, in their vision. And it was the same thing I told y'all what was going to happen with Ron Rivera. Remember when y'all were trying to tell me in the comments and in the chat that Ron could have a playoff year and he'll be safe? I told y'all Ron could win 10 games this year and they will still send him on his way, bags packing, because new owners are going to change everything. A new coaching staff, a new front office are also going to change everything. Also, as much as we like the guy, Sam has not done himself any favors. Versus the Niners, he made a couple of throws, but he had 170 yards, a touchdown, 2 interceptions, 60 quarterback rating. Versus the Jets, he played almost 3 quarters, 56 yards, no touchdowns, 2 interceptions, a 1.7 quarterback rating. I repeat, 1.7. That's less than 2. That may be the lowest quarterback rating I've seen in my entire existence. And we've had a plethora of trash can quarterbacks for this organization during my tenure of fandom. Versus the Chargers, 102 yards, a touchdown and a pick, 50 quarterback rating. He got pulled in the 4th quarter. Back-to-back benchings, and then they gave him the job again. Versus Dallas versus Miami, 127 yards, 0 touchdowns and a pick, 50 quarterback rating. So his last 4 games, 169, 56, 102, 127. That's not okay. Even noodle arm as Taylor Heineke was finding ways to manufacture 180-yard, 2-touchdown games. That's not acceptable. He's not a rookie either. He's his first year starting. He's not a rookie. This is his 2nd year. We're not going to say he's like a rookie. He's not a rookie. His last good game was versus Seattle on November 12th. November 12th. We're a week away from that being a couple months ago. It is now January 5th. Versus the Giants, he had a touchdown and 3 picks. On Thanksgiving, he had 300 yards, but he had no touchdowns and an interception. And Dallas was eating drumsticks on us at motherfucking 6:30 with a 45 minutes real-time game left. Eating drumsticks on us, didn't get a penalty for it, and it didn't matter. They were celebrating on us and swagging on us for the whole world to see. And While I think Sam has been let down by the play caller, because I think Eric Bieniemy is fucking terrible, and I think it's laughable, the idea of him being someone's head coach. God bless you and good luck to you if that is the direction in which you decide to go. Because the way you develop a quarterback is not how he did it this year. Like the whole 70-30 passing the running thing. I'm a big air the ball out thing, but there's a way to do it. There's a time and a place, and there's a level of quarterback experience that is required to live and die by the gun of the quarterback the way that Eric Bieniemy did. And I think while we have a not good offensive line, I don't think it's as terrible as it's looked this year. I think the combination of EB and Sam made that line look a lot worse than it was. It's just a lot of intricacies of the quarterback position. You have to be able to slide protection. You have to be able to make the right protection call. You have to be able to identify blitzers and point them out to the defense. But everything's about the development of a young quarterback. And I hope Sam goes out there and gives his best shot. Hopefully, this is a swan song performance for Sam as well. I hope he at least looks the part. I hope he at least has a decent day. Like, while I didn't know the best thing for the team to do is lose, there were games where we were losing where Sam looked good. Like, he looked like he was, like, there was a lot of hope. There was a lot of, oh, the team looked bad, but the quarterback looked good. We haven't felt that way in like 7 weeks. Sam's looked cooked. Rotisserie charcoal chicken cooked with the green and the white sauce and the yuca on the side. He's looked barbecue chicken. And it would be nice for him to at least look like there's hope again, because there hasn't looked like there's been hope since the Seattle game, which was 2 months ago. We are now into 2024, and we're staring the second pick of the draft right away, meaning we're staring Caleb Williams or Drake May, Sam Howell's best friend, for those of you who don't know, Drake May. We're staring one of the 2 top quarterbacks in this draft right in the face. And all that matters is draft positioning. Dallas is going to win this game. Dallas is going to win this game by multiple touchdowns. The caveat here is there's weather coming to town this weekend. There's a projected snowstorm. Maybe it's ice because it's freezing outside. Today's supposed to be the coldest day of the year in the DMV. And weather mucks it up, could make it an ugly, close game. I hope it's not. But Dallas is a 2-touchdown favorite. Washington, this is the first time in franchise history they've been a 2-touchdown underdog on the road at home. So in the entire history of this franchise, we've never been 14-point dogs at home in back-to-back weeks. Q 2023. Another realization of this being one of the worst years in this franchise's entire history and existence. But thank you, Ron Rivera. Thank you, Ron Rivera, for the opportunity we shall receive, because the team finally bottomed out and did what this team should have been done. This is how you usher in a new era, and I expect Washington to be the first team that hires a GM, because they've been sitting on information all year. I expect us to be the first. Washington has hired blah, blah, blah as president and GM of the football side of the organization, so we can get our head coaching start expedited, you know? So I believe in the next 7 to 10. I believe the 7 to 10 days after these jobs open up, we will find out who the general manager and executives of this team are. But prediction-wise for Sunday, we'll call it 27-10 Dallas Cowboys. 17-point loss. Sounds about right. 10 points sounds about where we peak at, especially with Sam Howell behind center. So Dallas is going to win. It's going to be ugly. We're going to have moments where we hang with them. It's the same thing we've seen over the last few weeks. The team competes for a quarter or two, but we're talent deficient, we're scheme deficient, and we're just not it, bro. And there's a reason why we've been the worst team in the league. Since the Panthers fired Frank Reich, Washington's been the worst team in the league. And Washington's only going to complete the season with a win or 2 more than the league worst Carolina Panthers. Bring on the coaching search. Bring on the GM search. Secure the draft spot, and on we go to the 2024 offseason. Dallas 27, Washington 10. That's my prediction. Give me your score prediction in the comments below if you even still care enough to give a score prediction. Understand it's a rivalry, but I got more important things to worry about than beating Dallas in a game that does nothing for us. And I am not too keen on giving Ron a send-off ride to the sunset victory that he could beat his chest on about and gloviate to the media after the game about how good he left the franchise in. I'll pass on that, Sir Ronald. One more L for the books. 4-13 in the books. On the 2024 we go. That's all I got for right now. Until next time, hail to the Washington Commanders. If you're in the DMV, stay warm. If you're going to the game on Sunday, bundle the hell up. Throw on a scarf, a beanie, throw some long johns on under it. Bring a blanket if you need to. Make sure you stay warm. But if not, watch the game from the comfort of your home. That's all I got for right now. Commander Rio, out.